Hello everyone, I'm Hafsa Sheikh from St. Pius X Degree and PG College, Nacharam for women. In this video, I'm going to show you how I created a machine learning model for a food delivery company. This machine learning model helps the company predict the number of food orders or meal orders that it will receive in the upcoming weeks. So in order to create this model, I used IBM Cloud and its services. So the first step in after collecting the data set is that you have to go through data pre-processing, in which the first thing is that you have to import all the necessary libraries, and then we read the data set by using the head function, which displays the first five rows in your data set. So we have four main data sets, that is train data set, test data set, and also meal info and fulfillment center info. This allows us to this head function allows us to see the first five rows of the data set, and then we analyze our data and check for any null values. We check for any null values and handle all of those null values. Our data set contains zero null values. It does not have any null values. And also we can see that our trained data set consists of approximately 4 lakh rows and 9 columns. So this is actually a very huge data set, and we are going to use this data set to create a machine learning model. After analyzing the data, the next step for us is to go through label encoding. Label encoding means that we have to convert any string values or any character values into integer type, because the machine learning model can only take integer values and process those values only. Once that is done, we also did a data visualization. So here we used matplotlib, and we used that to create a graphical representation of our data, where on the x-axis we have the number of orders and on the y-axis we have the number of buyers. Such a data visualization helps us to see how our data is varying and how it is spread across our entire domain. Another method that we used is a heat map. A heat map is basically a data visualization technique in which data values are represented as colors, and these colors vary in intensity to give us an idea of how our data is varying and how our data is scattered in our domain. Once that is done, we split our data into train and test data set. These data sets are used for creating the machine learning model. Now using the now we've created to create the machine learning model, first we have to build that model, and we have to train and test the model algorithms. So here we have various model algorithms like the regressor, the linear regression, and ElasticNet decision tree regressor, and we test all of these models. The one that produces the least root mean square error is the most efficient model. And as you can see, for us the decision tree regressor produced the least root mean square error, so we've chosen this as our model. And after that, we have to evaluate the model and save the model, and and then we also used this model to predict the output. So in order to actually train the model, we used the Auto AI service of Watson Studio. So from that, as you can see, we created the model, and a relationship map was generated. This relationship map generated 8 pipelines, out of which it has selected the pipeline number 5, pipeline number 5 as the best one, as the most efficient one, because of its least root mean square error. That is the one that is most efficient for us. Now once this is done, the machine learning model has been created, but we have to take an input from the user. So for that, I created a an HTML web page. So this is the HTML web page that I created for my machine learning model. This is the home page for the machine learning model. When the user clicks on predict, it leads to another page, that is the prediction page. On this page, the user can give certain inputs like whether or not the home page has been featured for that particular meal, and the area of operation of that delivery service, and he can select the cuisine, whether it is Thai, Indian, Italian or continental, and also the city code can be entered and the region code. He can select from a variety of beverages and variety of food items, like whether it's a beverage or pizza or pasta, etc. After that is done, when he clicks on the predict button, then the number of orders for that particular meal will appear at the bottom of the page over here. So this is how I've created the front end for my model. Once the front end has been created, it is necessary to link this front end with the machine learning model that you've created and trained using IBM Watson Studio and its Auto AI service and its machine learning service. Now, in order to do that, you have to create a Flask application in Python. As you can see, I've created a Flask application, a Flask file, by importing Flask and other important imports I've made, and using the API key given for my deployment, and using the URL that was given to me for my specific deployment. I've integrated my HTML web page with the backend, that is using a Flask file. A Flask file is nothing but a web framework written for server-side scripting. After doing this and after clicking on a run, we get the prediction in this dialog box over here. So this is how my machine learning model was created. I installed IBM Watson Machine Learning in my Jupyter notebooks, and after creating creating this and importing my API key and URL here, we successfully created a deployment space, and after that we were also able to give a prediction. We were able to predict a value using our decision tree regressor that we had previously evaluated and found to be the most efficient machine learning model. So this is the gist of my project. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much.